we're going to talk about spindles, and specifically about spindle weights. The thing about a spindle, and those of you who are familiar with a potter's wheel, a kick wheel, will understand the principles, and here we get into deep physics, of inertia. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. When you have the inertia of a potter's wheel, that great big heavy stone whirl that's spinning and spinning and spinning, it tends to stay in motion because there's a lot of mass there. This is a spindle of just about an ounce. I think it's 1.1 ounce. And if I give it a good whirl and start it spinning, it'll spin for quite a while because it has some mass. So we'll get a good bit of spin out of it before we have to stop and put more twist into it so that we can spin. It will eventually, though, as you can see, slow and then stop. But it does spin for a good long time. This one is from Schacht. It's a nice spindle, but it is not specifically rim weighted. The other thing about spinning like this is that it's not just how much mass I've got spinning out there on the end of the yarn, but how the mass is distributed on the spindle. If it's rim weighted, that is, if there's more weight out here on the rim, it will spin longer than one that is not rim weighted. So let's look at a different spindle. This is about the same mass, just about an ounce, but it's undercut. The whole inside is cut out and the mass is centered around the rim, and there's even a little more mass added by this powdered bronze that is inlaid into it. So it's a nice rim-weighted spindle. So with this one, despite the fact that it's just the same mass as the first one that I worked with, and once I get a leader started on this, you'll see how it goes, I should be able to keep this one in motion even longer because A, it's nicely balanced, and B, it's rim-weighted. So I go zinging it up my leg, and it will spin for a good long time before it stops. So this is more efficient spinning if we can manage to have a mass down there spinning on the end of the yarn that I'm creating that is rim-weighted, nicely balanced, and a little bit heavy. So there it is. If I can give it there we go, that's a good whirl up my leg, and then it'll spin for quite a while. Now the problem, of course, the longer it spins, the bigger the mass it has, the longer it spins. The problem is when there's a large mass down there, I can't spin a very, very, very fine yarn. The yarn is just not thick enough, strong enough to support a large mass. And so, if I want to spin a very, very fine yarn, I should go to an extremely small, lightweight spindle like this one. And this one, I should be able to spin cobwebs on, because it is so tiny. It's not exerting much of a pull. I'm not in danger of breaking the yarn as I'm spinning it. The downside, of course, is that with less mass down there, it's not going to spin as long. It slows and it stops. And I go zinging it along again, and I can spin for a while, but again, because it's just not very heavy, it won't spin for a very long time. So this is a delicate tap dance that we're trying to come up with here between having enough mass to spin for a good long time and not being so heavy that it will break my yarn. So this is what I try to do, is pick the heaviest weight spindle that my yarn will support and try to have one that is rim weighted in order so that it will spin a good long time. So this is one of the things that you do when you're trying to choose a spindle. You want to see what kind of yarn you want to spin. Do I want to spin fine as frog's hair? Then I need a lightweight spindle. But if I wanted to spin for a long time, I'm going to pick one that's rim weighted. And that is what the weights on the spindles mean.